All right, we're back with language arts this week. We are talking about summarizing, which basically means can you retell a story in your own words in a shorter way? Kind of basically hit the highlights. Okay, we're going to start out pretty easy on Monday. We're just looking at very short paragraphs. You are going to need your reference sheet that I included. I actually, for some reason, didn't print one for me, but I have it pulled up on my computer right now. So I'm going to kind of go over that, and then we'll start. So it says, what is summarizing? When you summarize, you take a large section of text and condense it to just the main facts or ideas. So condense means to make smaller or kind of cram together. A summary is significantly shorter than the actual text. So instead of having a one-page information sheet, maybe, like last week when we were talking about the killer whales and flamingos. Those articles were a page and a half. We could condense that into maybe 3 or 4 highlights or major points. Okay, when you summarize, you focus on the most important points or ideas. Okay, so you don't need every single little detail when you're summarizing. All right, so let's take a look at number 1. This is going to be word for word from your reference sheet. It says, when you blank, you take a large selection of text and condense it to just the main facts or ideas. So on your reference sheet, that is the first sentence under the heading, what is summarizing? It says, when you summarize. Okay, number 2, we've got a short little paragraph and we're going to choose the best summary. It says, exercise is important for people of all ages. Unfortunately, these days, people do not take time out of their busy days to exercise. Taking 30 minutes each day to do some sort of physical activity can help you become a healthier person. So if we were to condense this to one sentence, which one would be best? A, exercise is important for kids. B, people should exercise each day. C, people are lazy. Or D, people work a lot. Let's take a look at A, exercise is important for kids. Although that is a true statement, the summary says exercise is important for people of all ages. So A is probably not the best one. B, people should exercise each day. That's basically what this paragraph is saying, is that no matter what your age, you need to take time out of your day to exercise. So we're going to go with B. C and D, you can make assumptions based on this paragraph, but B is the best answer. Number 3, if you read a book about Abraham Lincoln, which of the following facts would be the most important fact to include in the summary of the book? A, Abraham Lincoln liked to eat spaghetti. B, Abraham Lincoln was a smart child. C, Abraham Lincoln became a U.S. president. Or D, Abraham Lincoln liked playing games. Which one of those facts is probably the top fact? I would definitely say C, that he became a U.S. president. What's he most known for? Being the 16th president. All right, number 4, we're going to use our reference sheet to pull this information from. A summary is significantly blank than the actual text. Okay, that's the second statement under the heading, what is summarizing? Is a summary significantly longer, different, warmer, or shorter? Okay, so warmer, that's definitely not the right answer. That's a silly answer option. If we're summarizing something, we're trying to take a long piece of writing and make it shorter with just the most important things. So that would be D. Number 5, if you read an article about the history of airplanes, which of the following facts would be the most important fact to include in the summary of the article? A, the Wright brothers invented the airplane. B, airplanes come in different sizes. C, I flew an airplane to Florida. Or D, airplanes have wheels. Okay, what do you think is the most important? We're talking about the history of airplanes. My guess is the people who invented the airplane would probably be a very important point to include. Do airplanes come in different sizes? Yes. I flew an airplane to Florida. That really doesn't have anything to do with the history of airplanes. Okay, that's just a fact about you. And airplanes have wheels. Yes, they do, but not all airplanes. There are some airplanes that actually have like pontoons and they can land on the water. But overall, A is the best. Number 6 is going to be, again, from the reference sheet. Summarizing helps you focus on the most blank points of a story or article. Okay, do they help you focus on the most different points, most important points, most useless points, or most annoying points? Would you want to read a summary of annoying points? No. Would you want to read a summary about useless points? No, that's a waste of time. Okay, if we look at our reference sheet, it says summarizing helps you focus on the most important points. Okay, nobody wants to waste their time. Number 7, if you read a story, about Helen Keller, which of the following facts would be the most important fact to include in the summary of the story? Okay, would it be important for us to know that A, Helen Keller was blind and deaf? That means that her eyes and her ears did not work 100%. B, would it be important for us to know that she liked candy? C, that she had friends? Or D, Helen Keller was born in June. Okay, if we're talking about her life and maybe everything she accomplished, which one of these facts is probably the most important? I would say A. If you don't know anything about Helen Keller, it would be cool if you could search her up on YouTube and maybe watch a video. This woman overcame a lot of obstacles and was a very successful and productive member of society, despite her challenges of being blind and being deaf. So, if I were you, I would look into that. Number 8, when a firefighter fights a fire, he puts his life on the line to save people. Firemen do their job in order to make sure people are safe and that buildings are saved when possible. Firemen are true heroes. All right. I obviously think so since my dad is a fireman. Choose the best summary for this paragraph. So basically, if we could summarize this in one sentence, what would it be? That A, firemen practice how to fight fires. B, firemen are true heroes who save lives. C, firemen volunteer to fight fires. And D, firemen like to drive fire trucks. All right, so A, firemen practice how to fight fires. That is a true statement. Firemen continue to practice and learn new firefighting techniques every year that they are on it's not just they learn how to be a fireman one time and they're done. They constantly go through training. So yes, A is true, but they didn't really talk about it in our paragraph. B, firemen are true heroes who save lives. Okay, it does say that they save people, they make sure people are safe, and that buildings are saved when possible. But if it comes between saving a person's life and saving their house, they're going to save the person first. And it does say firemen are true heroes. So B sounds like a good answer, but let's check C and D. Firemen volunteer to fight fires? Well, there are some volunteer fire departments. If you live in a really small town that maybe can't afford to hire full-time firemen, there might be volunteers. Also, people who decide to be a firefighter, they know the risks that they're taking. So I guess in a way they're volunteering for that, but some are paid. And then D, firemen like to drive fire trucks. I would assume that most firemen want to or like to drive the fire truck. I know that that was one of the best parts when my dad was at a fire station. He loved to drive the ladder truck. That's the long one with the ladder on top. He loved it. But it might be kind of scary too. So some people might prefer to just ride in the back. So that's kind of an opinion question. So we're going to go with B. I know that was a long, drawn-out story on how to get to B, but sometimes it's good to talk about our options. Number 9, if you read an article about the California State Fair, which of the following facts would definitely be included in the summary of the article? All right. A, the fair didn't have a Ferris wheel. B, a girl won a giant teddy bear at the fair. C, the fair took place on July 17th through the 24th. And D, people sold ice cream at the fair. Okay, so we're talking about the California State Fair. Which of these facts would definitely be included? Now, some of these might be included in the article, but which one would be the most important to include? I would say C, the date that it took place. That's kind of an obvious, very important piece of information. Number 10, birds can live on average from 7 to 70 years, depending on the species. So if you are interested in getting a pet bird, be prepared to be responsible for your bird for a long time. Says choose the best summary for the text above. All right, so can we say that we learned from this that birds eat fruit? It didn't mention anything about what birds eat, so not A. B, birds can live for a long time. Yes, we did learn that. Let's go ahead and check C and D. Birds need to be fed. Okay, it didn't talk about that, but we have common sense enough to say if a bird doesn't get fed, probably not going to survive. Okay, so we're not going to go with C. And then D, birds are unique. Okay, unique means they're different and not all the same. It does mention that some birds can live shorter lifespans, like 7 years. Some birds can live 70 years. That does make them different. But overall, the most important piece of information we learned is that birds can live for a long time. Okay, great job. We will pick this back up tomorrow.